One of the biggest problems you may run into when using a glass-specific saw blade is the fact that your saw may not be providing enough water for the blade at the contact point of the glass. Now, tile saws, for the most part, are pretty similar. You have a water feed into the saw that then provides water for the blade. Now, if you're cutting tile or using a really rough diamond blade, generally any water source is going to be fine. It's not going to be causing a problem. With a glass-specific fine grit blade, what you'll find is if you do not have enough water at the contact point of the blade and the glass, you'll get a lot of sparking, you'll get a lot of heat buildup, you'll break your glass a lot, and you can also damage your blade. So it's very important to make sure you have enough water at the contact point of the blade and the glass. We're going to take a look at some of that. Now this is our MK101 saw, and the blade guard here is what normally fits over the blade. Now I'm going to raise that up a little bit, and my film is a little overexposed, so you can see inside here. You may have a hard time seeing it, but there are two little nozzles on either side of the blade, inside the blade guard. Now we have our water feed that comes into our saw up top, and it feeds both of these tubes on either side of my blade. And what happens when I have this lowered is those two tubes point towards the blade and spray water onto the inside of the blade. What happens when the blade is spinning is that water will then transfer up the blade to the contact point of the glass and the blade. So it's very important that you have these water nozzles on both sides of the blade. It's also very important that they are pointed inward toward the blade and not straight out, otherwise the water is just going to flow out to the sides. Oftentimes with some of these saws from the factories, these are not bent inward enough to put water onto the blade itself, and you need to bend those in a little bit. Now it's important with glass blades that you do have water on both sides of the blade. It's also important that you have the water at the right location. Now if I lower my blade guard down, water is coming into our blade guard right about here. I've got it pointed inwards, so it's going to hit our blade in this area here. Now that means when the blade is spinning forward, it's going to transfer this water down the blade to the contact point of the glass right about where it needs to be. Now a lot of saw blades, they may have their water up here. Well, if you have that at the very top of your blade, it's obviously going to shoot off somewhere around here. That's not going to work too well because your glass is going to be down here. So you really want to make sure that your saw is giving you water right at this point in your blade. So centrifugal force will pull it down to this contact point. You can also add external water feeds that give you water directly in this spot that help you bring it down. But it's nice to have a saw that will handle it for you. Some of these wet tile saws will have an adjustable water supply, so you can adjust where the water is going to hit on your blade. That's great. Some of these have a single contact point of water. Those aren't going to be so great. You're going to have a single little bit of water coming in right on the edge of the blade. It's going to fly off right about here. Those are pretty much useless for anything other than tile. You definitely don't want to try and use those with glass.